What's up guys, James here from BootWizard Boot Reviews, and today it's a boot battle. It's an all silver boot battle for the gold medal for top speed boot on the market between the top two brands. This is a big one. If you want to know which one of these you should choose, stick around, watch the video, and we're going to try and help you decide. We're kicking off with the upper, and this is a boot battle, so we're talking objective performance, and objective performance, especially in these terms, has to come down to speed boot conditions. And on the upper, that means a tight wrap and a barefoot touch on the ball. Which one of these is better? The X19.1 is a speed mesh upper, which has been bulked up slightly from the 18.1, but it's had layers removed in order to make you feel that little bit closer to the ball, which it certainly does. The Vapor 13 Elite is a dual Flyknit upper with two different types of yarn interweaving together to give you the softness and the structure that you need from your boot. So these are both great, but this is a speed boot battle. We want barefoot, we want close to the ball, and the Vapor is simply better on both of those counts. It wraps your foot more closely, you feel like you're just wearing a sock, and your touch on the ball is definitely more barefoot than you're going to find on the X, which to some degree has a small amount of padded feel. That doesn't mean it's bad, that doesn't mean that it's not a great speed boot, it just means that the Vapor really is the king of the barefoot touch right now. Traction is another area where both of these boots absolutely excel, and both have the most aggressive traction on offer from their respective brands. And that is exactly what we are looking for, aggressive traction. The X19.1 has the speed frame outsole with those diamond shaped studs, triangular shaped studs in the forefoot, and the conical studs in the back. A great amount of stability through the midfoot and heel, and then a nice amount of flexibility in the forefoot. If you want a little more flexibility in your boot and maybe a little better multi-directional movement, this would probably be the one to go for. The Vapor, however, is all about pure aggressive straight line speed. It's all conical studs all the way through, and it is already more rigid than you're going to find from the X, but adding this Aerotrax outsole just here, which gives you a graded snapback and a really aggressive feeling in the outsole, it just is better than the X. There's nothing wrong with this, and it's definitely Adidas's best, but when you're talking speed boot, when you're talking aggressive traction, this is the best on the market. I'm happy to say that. I'm happy to say aggressive traction, this is the best on the market, there's no beating it. Somebody call me a liar. Put down in the comments and find me a boot that has better, more aggressive traction than this. It's a win for the Mercurial, easily. So value for money, these are both top-end speed boots for their brands. This, the top-end Vapor, there is a slightly more expensive Superfly, which is exactly the same boot with a small extension collar. And then this, the top-end X, and there is again a slightly more expensive version, which is the laceless X19 Plus. We also have a boot battle coming up, or it's already up, of the X19.1 against the 19 Plus if you want to check that out. But this rocks in at €250 in the standard version, 275 because this is a signature Neymar colorway. This €220. So it is cheaper than the Vapor, but on boot battles, we don't go by cheapest wins, we go by what offers you the best value for money. And in this instance, neither one. They're both over €200, which is not good value for money for a football boot. But can I pick a winner? Can I say that the X19.1, by virtue of being €30 cheaper than the Vapor 13, is better value for money, considering that they are both excellent elite level boots? But is it enough to give it the win on the round? I don't think so. I think it's a draw. Value for money, 10-all. So the fit and comfort of these, it's an area where both boots really excel, but there's still a difference between them, and they both achieve their fit, their comfort, their responsiveness in slightly different ways. So the 19.1 responsiveness has certainly improved from the 18.1, and that's because it does have a slightly thicker, slightly more structured upper, which really does help that little bit. It obviously has the lacing system, which blows the 19 plus out of the water, and this probably has some of the best heel lockdown in the business. It's a very thin upper with very little padding, but there are these two big triangular pads in the back with grip dots on them, which do a fantastic job of gripping your heel, keeping it in place, and it really does feel a secure boot, a secure responsive boot in that heel area. The Vapor 13 achieves this very differently by giving you the responsiveness through a very soft fly-knit yarn, which keeps the upper nice and soft, and then adding into that, weaving into the fabric, a high tenacity Roy Keane yarn, which gives you all of the structure that you need to keep the boot responsive. As I've stated before, the fit in the Vapor is also tighter and a more barefoot feel, which is exactly what we want in this boot battle because we're comparing speed boots. Although comfort-wise, if I was to compare the two, I would probably say that the 19.1 is a slightly more comfortable boot. Some of that comes from a little bit of extra padding, a little bit of extra structure, and it not being quite so tight around your foot. So this, the fit and comfort, may come down to personal preference, but responsiveness, there is absolutely no doubt that the win goes to the Vapor 13. So overall, for this category, where are we giving the points? And it's going to go to the Vapor 13 10-9. Again, I have to stress the X 19.1 is a very good boot across all of these categories. It's just so hard to beat this damn boot right now. It's very, very good. And that is it. Boot battle done. And if we look at the scorecards, it looks like a bit of a destruction. It really looks like the Vapor 13 has absolutely taken the Adidas X 19.1 to task and shown it up. Which to a degree is kind of the case because this is the leading speed boot on the market. In my opinion, the best speed boot on the market right now, and everything else is playing catch up. So yes, it's pretty much a whitewash win for the Vapor, but I have to stress that this is a brilliant boot. If you're looking for a speed boot that has slightly different characteristics, maybe a little bit more comfort, maybe you don't want that crazy stiff outsole, then you've got a good option.